How's it going, YouTube? It's Nomad TCG here, and today I'm bringing you guys a real-life deck profile of another one of my favorite Edison decks. So I haven't done one of these in quite a while. When I first started up the channel, I did the fairy deck, and I plan to do this one shortly after. But, things came up. I was moving around in life. And so, yeah, now I have the time to be able to bring you guys all these deck profiles. So there's going to be quite a few of the actual paper deck profiles, so I hope you guys enjoy these, show off some nice cards. So yeah, this is going to be a profile for Diva Zombie. There's two ways to play this deck. You can play the hero stuff, or you can just play like a traditional deck. You can even, technically three ways, you can even play it with like the Raikos and stuff. To be honest, I love Raiko and Hamster, but I don't like them in this deck. Sometimes you mill like Diva, sometimes you mill like your Zombie Master, like cards you actually need. So I'll show you guys this build, which I've been liking a lot lately. I have adjusted it a little bit according to the RBET, and I'll explain a little bit of that as we go. So without further ado, I'll just get started. So 3 Caius. This is like the best card in Edison format, and I think that in Zombie specifically, like your game plan is to get out a Goblin Zombie as soon as possible and then sack it for Caius. That way you can play like a controlling game, build up advantage until you can make like your bigger pushes. So I think 3 is pretty important. You could get away with 2, but like you want to see this card with like a way to zombie like pretty much as early as possible. Then we're playing double DD Crow in the main. So this is another like recent change from the RBET. This theoretically makes sense because one year, like, it seems like frogs would be a good matchup, but they're actually really, really hard. Because, like, every time you go for, like, a big push, you can get stopped by, like, Fader or Threatening Roar or, like, all these other cards, and then you just lose on the crackback because you have to, like, devote so many cards for that game plan to push for your OTK. And that's the reason why I kind of shifted away from the hero build, is because I felt like that was, like, an all-gas build, and you kind of, like, put everything into trying to kill your opponent, and then you just don't really have that much good recursion. It feels pretty bad after you waste like your malicious and stuff, and then they just battle fader you. So I think that these are pretty good for taking out Treeborns. They're decent against the mirror, and this card can be really good against like quick draw strategies. Anything playing like Debris Dragon, Drunk Synchron, things like that. So I think these cards are pretty solid. 2 Deep Sea Diva. Since we're not playing like Future Fusion, we don't need a third. And then we're not playing any like mill cards, so we also don't need a third. So 2 is fine. Double Goblin Zombie. I'll explain this all together. Double Pyramid Turtle. Double Mystic Tomato. And Sanguine. So essentially, like, all these cards accomplish the same thing. So like Goblin Zombie obviously searches you any zombie. It's like the best card. You want to bring this back off Book of Life and Mizuki and stuff and synchro with it and get your advantage. These cards will summon him from deck, and then this will search this or any other zombie piece you may need. So like your deck is this card. Like this is the heart and soul of the deck. So I think it's important to play like all these cards to get to it. You have like 7 ways basically in your opening hand to get to Goblin Zombie, hoping like the recruiters go through, hoping that this goes through. So I think it's a pretty good amount. Then for other zombie cards, we play Mizuki and Plague Spreader and Spirit Reaper and Zombie Master. These cards all serve a purpose. Like you can stall out the game with this. This guy can be good for like after you've loaded up your graveyard for pushes. This is just your tuner that's amazing in here, especially. And then Mizuki's crazy. It's Monster Reborn. Then kind of the bombs of the deck, we play 1 Dark Arm Dragon. You have to play this. Like, this card is absolutely busted, and I would honestly say this is probably like the best deck you can play this card in. Aside from Blackwing. And then Gores and Tragodia. These cards are cards that help you from dying. They're darks. This guy is super broken in here. Adjusting the levels is like super important. Being able to like adjust levels, you can make any synchro you want with like Plague or Diva. So I really like this card in here. Plus you can like pitch like your Plague and Mizuki's out of hand to steal stuff, which is nuts. On to spells now. We're playing Double Book of Life. This card can be like super bricky. I'm not the biggest fan of it, to be honest. And like, if I was playing like a Welidad strategy, I may even forego this card altogether or move it to the side deck or just play one. But like, I think in this build, you make pretty good use of it. You have a solid number of zombie monsters. Like your deck, this deck revolves around Goblin Zombie, like this variant. So, I think this is pretty solid in here. Then we play Brain Control and Mind Control. These cards are amazing in here. They're both like just incredible. You can make synchros. You can, I like this one a lot because you can like steal hamsters and Raikos. It's especially good when you get a Raiko and pop like one of their cards. It feels super bad when they set Raiko with like a back row. So really like this one for synchroing. This one's amazing because you can steal anything in tribute for Caius. Then we play Allure, Foolish. These cards are broken in here, what can I say? Heavy Storm and Space Typhoon. Get rid of the back row. And then we play a large trap count. So there's 11 trap cards. So we play Solemn, Torrential, Mirror Force, and Trap Dust Shoot. So these are like, you know, the essential cards that you play for pretty much almost any deck. They're the best 4 trap cards in Edison format, I would say. You know, this negates anything, this destroys everything, and then looking at your opponent's hand and taking their best monster is absolutely broken. A lot of times when you go first and you set this with like, you know, a Goblin Zombie or something, or like a Recruiter, it's oftentimes just an auto win. It's really absurd. And then we play Return. This card is like an auto win. I'm playing this like over Burial. Like Burial is nice, but like this card, it summons all your guys back, and it's very hard to like not win after you resolve this. Burial, on the other hand, is kind of weird because you're usually bringing back like Mizuki and Plague, and then you also have to give up more cards to bring back your Plague, or, you know, banish your Mizuki to give it back. And you just get way more value out of using this. So I like this a lot better. Play called Haunted, and then 1 Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. I don't want to play multiples of this because like we're not playing Malicious or like all their like there's not a ton of very good discard like targets. There's like Plague and Mizuki, and that's about it. So like this card, while I do love it and I think it's a really good card, like there's just better traps to play than like, you know, giving up cards with this, because like you're not always going to have access to Mizuki and Plague. So like, you know, in my starting hand, if this is like the only trap I open, like it just feels kind of bad if I don't have the means to discard like a card that's good in the graveyard. And then next we play Dust Tornado. Just 1 copy. I think this is good enough. So we play like 3 ways to destroy a spell and trap. Plus the Wing Blast can get rid of like spell and traps too. So it's like 4 cards that deal with those. And then Caius as well. And then we play a copy of Starlight Road. Like I said, we're playing 11 traps, and then we also side deck a shit ton of traps in this deck. So I think it's like super important to have other means to protect against heavy, especially in the side deck we're playing like Floodgates. So like setting this with a Floodgate is like auto win. And then Double Bottomless. This is just like the best one I think that you can play. Zombies struggle with like some bigger monsters or like annoying monsters. Like you can get rid of Monarchs, you can get rid of Synchros, you can get rid of like Heroes, just, you know, bigger guys. So I think it's good to try to keep monsters off the field. Next for the extra deck, got the Gorge token. We're playing Chimera Tech, of course, for Sidra. Armory Arm, Cataster, Revive King, and Doomkaiser. You know, they're the Plague Spreader zombie targets. And then we're playing Brio and Goyo. And then I also play Gaia Knight. So I'll just tell you guys now, I side deck skill drain, and so like I want cards that I can make under skill drain that have big bodies. So like this, I can make it under skill drain. Is 2600. I mean, I don't always want to waste Goyo even then without skill drain, so like this is a good card to make if I'm just trying to push for damage. Then I play Black Rose Dragon, Stardust, Thought Ruler, Dark End, this card's broken. Red Dragon Archfiend, again, another card we play simply for the fact that he's 3k, he's an 8-star, you can make him and sit on skill drain. Colossal Fighter, and then Mistworm. So pretty standard extra deck, like honestly, overall. Like only weird things probably like the Gaia Knight, and then maybe the Red Dragon. Everything else is super standard. And then, so I will bring you guys the super spicy side deck. All right, so first of all, we are playing double Cyber Dragon for like Machina, Ancient Gear strategies, just any machine decks. Sider's just a good card in general, aside from the machine decks. Like you can side this in against like Blackwing and Glads and beat over their guys because they're big. Then we play Lightning Vortex. This is just to clear like Vanity's Fiend, clear Christia, clear just bigger boards of monsters when we go second. Really nice. Then we're playing one Nobleman of Crossout. I feel like Raikou gives this deck a hard time sometimes if we don't like strictly have Goblin Zombie to attack into stuff, or like Zombie Master revive something. So like Nobleman, I technically want to play like another copy. It's just really hard to fit room. Like the space in this side deck is really tight for this deck, especially you just have to cover a lot of matchups. Then we play Burial. So I do play this. I side it in usually like just post board because like my opponents, I don't know how popular Soul Releases or like Kaiku amongst like other players, but I'd rather side this in just in case. Also, DD Crow is everywhere. We know this, so it's important to side this in. And then also, like, for Bottomless Trap Hole, too, like, when we summon out Mizuki or summon out Zombie Master, our opponent tries to get rid of our stuff, so this is cool. Then we play one copy of Soul Release. Again, Frogs are a super annoying deck, and then this also works against the Mirror, it works against Quick Draw. We can just take whole graveyards. Like, you can draw this at any point in the game versus Frogs, and it literally just feels like you just win the game after you resolve it. So I think it's really good to have. You can take like both Treeborns out of their grave, and then what do they do at that point? Then we play one My Body is a Shield. Again, like the biggest thing, like you could either play a second copy of this or a second copy of this. This is for like Icarus Attack, for Deck Devastation Virus, because Deck Dev's like brutal against this deck. And then we play double Lightmere for Christia Sworn and for like the Fairy deck. Pure Light Sworn. Gosh, those decks are so frustrating sometimes, so definitely got to have this. Maybe even play 3 of it, to be honest, but I don't play 3 because I play another card I'll show you. Double Dust Tornado. We already played the one in the mains, got to have the other 2 here. And then double Deep Prison, just a good generic trap card, good against Blackwings and Glads. And then lastly is 2 Skill Drain. Yeah, I think that this card is like a necessary card to have in here. This works against like the Monarch strategies, so I really think that there's value to having this in the deck. Definitely worth playing. And again, like against like the Lightsworn decks, you can play, you know, a conjunction of these to deal with like Celestia and Raikou, and you know, they can't mill basically with this, so that's still pretty nice. But yeah, guys, that's the deck. Don't want to spend too much time on it. It's very, very simple, very, very basic. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want me to show off like more decks, I will. But real quick, last thing, if you did decide you wanted to play like the hero stuff, you would basically put in another Diva, Future Fusion, Stratos, Double Nally, and Infernal Prodigy in the main deck. And that would probably require you to cut like a Caius, probably these, probably this, and then probably just 2 more trap cards. So I think like at the end of the day, what I would do to slim this down would be to cut this and then cut like a bottomless. And then, yeah, that'd probably be that. You could maybe, since you're adding the malicious, you could make room for like a second discard target. But yeah, I definitely swap like those 6 for these 6 if you wanted to play it that way. And then in the extra deck, you just cut the Gaia and the red dragon to play 0 and Gaia for your future fusion. And then there are other options for the side deck as well I wanted to bring up. So if you don't want to play Skill Drain, you do have Pulling the Rug for Monarchs. And then I already talked about playing another Nobleman or another My Body. And then you also do have Zombie World. This does work against like fairies, so that's important. Also, this makes everything in your opponent's graveyard and stuff zombies, so you can make better use of like your Doom Kaiser Dragon, which is cool. So that's another option, guys. Just wanted to bring them up for you real quick. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching this deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Tell your friends about the channel. But other than that, appreciate it. Peace.